Yeah, so in this video I want to show you guys how to change steering fluid, or steering ATF, or steering oil, call it whatever you want to call it. I want to show how you can do that on Peugeot 407 V6. Now Peugeot says every 2 years change your power steering fluid. If you don't do that, the steering will become very heavy or hard to steer. You may not observe it, or you may feel that it's soft until you drive one with fresh fluid. That's where you understand the difference. And it helps to protect the system. Of course, if you don't do that, the oil, the ATF, or the steering fluid will deteriorate. And once it deteriorates, of course, one of the components it will affect will be the power steering pump, possibly the rack and all that. But other than damaging your system, at least you get to enjoy the steering. I mean, what's the point having power steering when it's still working as if it's manual steering? We all know the difference between power steering and the manual one. Now, so I'm going to do that. Now, Peugeot vehicles have different power steering connections. This is Peugeot 407 V6, and by standard they have variable ratio steering, what we also call Servotronic system. They don't have the same system we call power steering, that's power assisted steering, PAS. No, this is called power ratio or variable ratio steering. So I'm going to use this vehicle to demonstrate how you can do that if you are interested in doing it by yourself. Now for this car, the recommended fluid is this. As you can see, total fluid AT42. This is what I use, and this is what I've been using for customers or for my own personal cars. So you can get this if you're in Nigeria. You can get this in any Total fuel station. Of course, there are other ones that are available. The good thing about Peugeot cars with their power steering system is they don't really select ATF like that. But there could be a reason why this particular one or other ones are recommended by Peugeot. So you could get probably the newer versions or the newer ATF produced by Total. Or you could try any other brand, but I just stick to the recommended. I've been doing that for many years. I've not had any issue with any of my steering, not once. So you can choose any brand you want, but as far as I'm concerned, I stick to the recommended. So the next thing to do is we are going to raise the front end of this vehicle. So what will happen is we'll jack it up. We'll jack the vehicle up so that the two tires in the front will have to stay up. If you want, you can remove your tires, but I don't think it's necessary. There's no point doing that. So all you need to do is jack up the front and make sure the two front tires are up and they are not touching the ground. You don't need to worry about the rear tires. Just focus on the front ones. That's all we need to do for this particular work. What else do I need to talk about? And you know, to do that, it's easier to use what we call jack stand. Now I'm going to probably use this one. This we call jack stand. Meanwhile, I want to do a shout out to a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine in US. Was the one that sent me this jack stand all the way from USA. Yes, United States of America. In fact, he has sent me so many gifts. I don't even know. Probably I'll do a different video on that to show you guys. So his name is Mr. Andre Thibodeaux. I hope I got it right. He's a French guy anyway, but he's an American as well. So thank you so much for the gift you sent to me. So I'll probably use this one, though there are other ones too that can be used. But if you are a DIY person or you want to do it by yourself, you may have to get something like this. you can get this here in Nigeria as well, so it's up to you, or something similar. So what this will do is it's going to, when you jack the front end of the vehicle, you use it to support the vehicle so that it doesn't come down and you don't rely on jack only. So I'm going to stop the video now, then later I'll continue to show you guys while doing the flushing or replacement or change, how to go about it. Okay, now we've raised the vehicle, the two front ends. I don't know if you guys can see it from here. So the two tires has gone up. You can use something, either use you look through it, or you get something to confirm. As you can see, this is passing through. So this one is not touching the ground. And let's find out here. Okay, same thing here. So this has been done. Yeah. So the next thing to do now is for Peugeot 407 V6. Now this is the power steering reservoir. Wait, let me explain. This is the power steering reservoir here. It has a manual power steering pump, unlike the 4-cylinder 407 with electric pump. So the manual one, this is the reservoir for the steering. That's the power steering container or reservoir, call it whatever I want. Now the one you will, it has two hoses attached to it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, so one is bigger, one is small. This one is smaller. So the one you need to disconnect or pull out from the reservoir is this one, the smaller one. Remember, this is only for Peugeot 407 V6. It's not peculiar to other other Peugeot cars have different setup. So don't assume that once you see a small hose, it must be the hose that you need to disconnect. Or once you see any Peugeot car and you see the steering hose on this side, that will be the one. No, you have to find out. Maybe I will be doing videos on different models or which one that you need to disconnect. Now what happened is this particular one, this particular hose is the one that takes fluid to the pump, that goes through the whole system, then comes back to this particular hose, the smaller one, back to the reservoir. So what you need to do is disconnect this one, so that while you are flushing the system, while oil is going out, instead of coming back to the reservoir, it's going out elsewhere. So they will come and go do it right away. Then you need this hose. All right, this particular hose is I prefer this size. I have another size I use in 406, but for 407 I use this 407 406 V6 607 phase 2. I use this one too. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. All right, so what we've done now is we've disconnected the hose. As you can see, it's no longer there. This is the hose that was here. The smaller side was supposed to be here. So we've connected it to this pipe. You can see that hose, water hose that I showed you guys before, down under the car, pass it through under the car. Now put it in this container so it doesn't get messy as we're doing that. So what now happened was, first initially with this hose, we connected it to this one. That water hose connected. When we removed the hose from the power steering pump, we connected this water hose here, and then blew through this space, depending on how you position the hose. Or even if you don't want to put hose, you can just leave it like that. It's just like to mess up this space, but you can always clean it up later. Then you disconnect the hose and leave it to flow out. The whole fluid here will flow out, right? Either you do the hose to the container, external container, or you leave it to flow like out, so that everything, I don't know if you guys can see through there, there's no fluid inside this container anymore. It's dried up. So what we now did, after we drained everything outside out from this container, we now connected the hose back to the hose from the pump. That's the water hose, the one I I showed you guys before. Okay, maybe I'll use different colors now to differentiate them. The white hose, which is the water hose, and the black hose, which is the factory one from the power steering system. So we connected the white hose to the black hose, that's the smaller hose, so that we can, from there, we now flush the remaining fluid in the system, like the fluid in the pump, and the steering rack, or wherever the steering hose or pipe passes to. So I think we are done from here. So the next we'll do is we'll now pour fresh, at least 1 liter of fresh ATF, which is this one, right? So we'll open one up, then pour one here fully. Of course, before we do that, we'll find something to block this particular hole here, or maybe you get somebody to use his hand and block this. This may be tougher for one person to do. However, you can do it if you are by yourself, but you need to find something to block this hose, or you find somebody to use his hand and block this hose while you pour this way, because if you don't block it as you are pouring the fresh food, everything will drain out again from here without passing through the system. So let's get to it. All right. So no, leave that one. For now, let's deal with this one. This is already opened. Come on, come. Let's finish this thing. Then that one, is it not oil? Okay. You need to block this hole. You need to block this place. Block the. Use a hole then. Or empty it completely. Wait. So guys, as you can see, I'm already pouring one. He has already blocked that hole I showed you guys. So I'm emptying one system. I'm coming. So we are more like a third. We are three doing this job. So it won't be as easy as you think. But like I said, one person can do that. So the third person will now go and turn the steering. In fact, it's a 2-man's work anyway. So he will now go and turn the steering. I'll come and show you guys how he's doing that. Yeah, you can go. Do you have the key? Collect the key from him. So what is happening is, because the 2 tires are now up, so if what you need to do, you switch on the ignition, leave the ignition on, or you turn it the halfway so ignition doesn't come on, but it will release the steering wheel. So I think we may have to this okay. So he is about to start turning the steering. Now, as you can see, just leave it on completely. Switch it on. Switch on the ignition completely. Is it not turning? So as you can see now, it's turning it fully. So this is what you need to be doing. So you must turn it fully to one side and fully to the other side. Just continuously keep doing that. As you can see, right, the oil is coming out. Now what is coming out now is the one from the steering pump and the rest. So that's what's coming out now. So as it's turning it now, the one on the pump, the steering rack, and the steering pipes, or whatever that is that particular one. They forgot to cover the space. So down, guys. Okay. Okay. So as it's doing that, it will push those the oil fluid in the system to pass through that small hose through this pipe to this container. So so you need to do that. Don't start the engine. Hear me again, do not start the engine. Do it without starting the engine. Just be turning the steering one full to one end and to the other end. Okay, it's time to put the second one. As you are doing that, for the 407 V6, the container, they design in such a way that it will get to a certain point, then it will stop going out to here, the second hose, the bigger one, it will no longer flow through. So in that case, you need to top up. In fact, what you need to do is make sure the fluid is always as close to maximum when you are doing this thing. So if it's going down, just be topping it, because the only fluid in the system now is fresh. The old oil has gone out. So all you need to do is to introduce fresh ATF in the system. So keep doing. So it's coming out. I think what has come out now is over a liter, close to 2 liters. Now it depends on how high you set the vehicle, or how low you place the container you want to drain it. If it's a flat container, it will flow out easier than it's doing now. But so far, I think we have about 2 liters here that has come out. So I'll call you guys. Let's find that. Okay, so this is the third container. We put the first and second ATF container we bought. So this is the third one. This one is just to top it up and conclude the flushing. Normally I just fill it up and then gauge it. I turn it like once more, into 2 places. Alright, it's okay. I think it's okay now. It's okay. Alright, so we are done. So what remaining now is to now connect this hose back to the container. The flushing has concluded. As you can see here, what we have here is mostly the old ATF. The new one has gone into the system. So, so we are in the process of connecting everything back as it should be. So we've concluded the flushing. Put back this hose, put back the clamp. Personally, I prefer using this type of clamp, the one that I can use screwdriver to screw and release and tight. Because the factory one is usually the type that's difficult to connect back, though there are tools for it anyway. And notwithstanding, we put it back with the factory clamp, what we usually call clip. So of course you can see it's not yet gauged. So you top it up once until the fluid comes out from that space. If the fluid you have is not enough, you have to go and buy more. We started with 3. We started the flush with 3 liters. Okay. I think we'll start the car. Let's find out if it has gauged. I think you may have to top up a little more. Start the car. Who has the key? So let's find out. I think the vehicle right now. Okay. So I think it's gauged. So I would still advise the owner of the car to buy additional more to top it just a little. But right now it's okay. Let's find out. Help me top the steering. Let me turn it. Let me see. Hello, Felice. Let me turn the steering. How is the steering? Is the AC on? Alright. So the steering is okay now. So the work is concluded now. So the steering is okay now, everything is working now. It should feel softer than it was before we did this thing. I think we need some modular work to do on the car to find out the source of this noise, where it's coming from, which is something else. That is a different work altogether anyway. So guys, now you know how you can change your Peugeot 407 V6 power steering ATF. Okay, but I think they've seen the source of the noise. We'll deal with it later. So you see how to do this. And like I said, it's not the same with Peugeot 407 with 4-cylinder engine, especially the petrol ones that I'm very sure of, like the EW engines, EW10 J4, EW10A, EW12 J4, and EW7 J4 and EW7A. These engines, they have electric power steering pump, so the connections, the two, they are not the same. So that I'll do a separate video on that one later. So now you know how to do this one. Thanks you to watching. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm very grateful and appreciate my friend that sent this thing to me that I've been using to do a lot of things on my own personal car and other people's Peugeot vehicles. Thank you so much, Mr. Andre Thibodeaux, and also thanks the owner of this car that allow us to use this one to show people how you can do this thing if you want to do it, even if you're a technician or a private individual that owns a Peugeot 407 and you want to do it by yourself. Now you know how to do that. But if you are not sure, if you don't know how to do it, and you probably are scared, employ a technician to do it for you, a mechanic or whatever, to do that, so I don't end up damaging your power steering pump. That's what I'm talking about, because of course if you don't do it right, you end up damaging it. But other than that, it's a very simple thing. One person can do that, 2 people can do that at most. So all right, thanks for watching.